So earlier this week, I was asked if I could make a pen to match a notebook. And when asked if I could do such a thing, I said, I don't know, but I could sure as hell try. This pen you see here was simply made from, I made some rubber molds out of some silicone. If you don't know how to do the proto putty molds, just look up proto putty on YouTube or Google it, and I'm sure a video will come up on how to make proto putty. It's just silicone and cornstarch and food color of your choice. So I made a couple pen blank molds, and ideally I would have used a polyester resin because it's a much harder resin than this glaze coat, which is meant for tabletops, bar tops, things like that, which never really forms a rock hard surface. It's always kind of pliable. And so this wasn't my first choice, but I just experimented with it and mixed in a bunch of the colors that were requested in just acrylic paints. Just regular run-of-the-mill acrylic. These are like $1 or less at Hobby Lobby or any hobby shop or paint store or anything like that. And was able to form these blanks that were still, even though they solidified, they were still quite pliable and able to bend easily, like you can probably see here. Even though this is like 2 weeks out of the mold, it's still extremely pliable. But the end result, I was able to turn this pen blank and make this pen. But if you want to see the whole process, stick around. Okay, so this is what they look like after the vacuum chamber. So now I'm just gonna let them sit and harden. Okay, so I just took these out of the mold, and they are relatively hard, but still kind of soft. As you can see, I can just kind of bend it, and I don't like that at all. I don't think they're really going to continue to harden. I just think that the paint kind of interfered with the curing process, and while they are hard, they're still very soft at the same time, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna leave them for a couple more days. Hopefully maybe they will continue to harden a little bit over time, but yeah, as of right now they're still pretty pliable. So I don't think that's gonna fare too well on the lathe. So I'm just gonna let them sit, and we'll see what happens in a couple days. Okay, so I got this thing chucked up in my pin chuck right now, or my pin jaws, and it's turning surprisingly well. I was actually pretty shocked because of how soft it is. I thought it would be quite grabby, and I'm only turning at about 750 RPM, which is relatively slow. But I mean, it's relatively smooth, and I haven't had any major grabs or anything like that. So this may actually work out. So I'm just gonna keep on going, and I think I'm gonna try to drill my hole next. This was just kind of an experiment to see how it would even turn before I wasted my time drilling a hole and putting the pin tubes in and all that. But I'm gonna go ahead and try that next, so we'll see how that works. All right, so I got the holes drilled out pretty easily, and the tubes I'm going to be using are for the slimline pin kit, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue these in now, give them a couple minutes to dry, and then we'll bore out the hole, load them up on the pin mandrel, and then see if we can't make a pin. Alright, now we got our pin blanks loaded on the mandrel, and we can start turning. Now I figured I might as well do this in real time because this happens unbelievably fast. But I'm going to see if I can turn these down in just a matter of a minute or so. Makes a very pretty sawdust, I'll say that much. I think they turned out pretty okay. Now I'll give this one quick sand with about 600 grit, and then hit it again with the super glue, and then I'll put the pin together. Alright, I think I mentioned this before, but this is the slimline pin kit that I ordered off of Amazon. I think it comes with like 10 different pin selections. So what's on the inside of the pin blank is just this little brass tube that you just coat with CA glue or super glue, and then you stick that into your pin blank, and then when you turn this, then you just shape it to the shape that you want, and then the rest of the kit has all the assembly for your pin. And they make different styles of pins. Obviously, I'm sure everybody's familiar with pins. So there you go, a working pin from a thought and a prayer. Cool. It works, it works.